students, and welcome to another session. For today's class, I want to talk to you about the research paper. In the next couple weeks, you will be focusing on the research paper. I really want you to understand that the research paper for ENC 1101 will use a combination of all the writing skills that you have gathered so far, both from the journal responses but also from the essays. This week you are doing the compare and contrast essay, but I want you to start thinking about how to conduct research. I want to provide a brief overview of how to conduct research and, very importantly, how to avoid plagiarism. So let's start. Most writers who are asked to use outside research sources in their academic papers have problems at one time or another with at least one of the following questions. What is a citation? Why do I need to cite? What is a source? What does it mean to quote, paraphrase, and summarize a source? What is a citation style? And what does it mean to plagiarize? Before learning what these words and phrases mean, it is important to understand why they are needed. Well, first, why do we need to cite sources? The reason that the citation of outside sources in a paper is needed is that in the United States and many other countries, the concept of intellectual property is very important. Intellectual property is part of or is a product of someone's mind. So what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is treated by the law in the same way as a new mechanical invention would be. Intellectual property is an original idea or information, usually stated in words and or numbers, that is treated as the property of its creator. So whose idea is it anyway? The idea cannot be used by other writers without a statement telling the reader that the idea or information is the product of someone else. So the question is, what is a citation? This statement to the reader, which needs to be included in the body of a paper as well as in the list at the end of a paper, is known as a citation. And it takes a slightly different form depending on the citation style used. The three most common citation styles are the following: MLA, or Modern Language Association, APA, or American Psychological Association, and Chicago. For the purposes of your paper in this course, you will use MLA, or Modern Language Association style. The question is, when don't you need a citation? You don't need to cite information that is common knowledge. For example, the fact that the earth revolves around the sun, everyone knows that this fact is true. So you don't need to cite this fact. If you're not sure what is common knowledge, then you need to ask your instructor. The next question is, what is a source? A source can be many different things. It could be an academic journal, a book, a website, or an interview. The next question is, why are sources important? If a published writer's information or idea supports your argument or opinion, your reader will more likely believe it. In your journal responses, I always ask you to support whatever you are stating or commenting on with evidence from the essay. The reason this is important is because it makes your argument or opinion more valid, meaning more believable to the reader. The same way with citing sources, your comments will be supported by these outside sources, so you need to give credit to those sources. How do you find sources? Well, one source commonly are scholarly journal articles, and these you could find in academic journals, usually through a college library. It can take time to find useful research sources. Also keep in mind that scholarly journal articles are oftentimes very narrowly focused. The best way to use a narrowly focused scholarly article is an example of a general point you're trying to make in a research paper. Another source are books. Many students find it easier to use books as research sources because they are not as narrowly focused as scholarly articles. Whether you're using a book or a journal article in a research paper, one helpful tip to keep in mind is that it's sometimes possible to find additional useful research sources in your original source's own works. So whenever you have an article, there might be a list at the back of that article stating other sources that you can use. So that's another way to find other useful sources for your research. So the question is, what is Wikipedia? Many of you are familiar with this website resource where you can find articles on many different topics. Most instructors will not accept Wikipedia as a research source, but it can still be useful to read an article on your topic in Wikipedia to get a broad overview of the subject. Yes, for the research paper that you will be writing in this class, I will not accept Wikipedia articles. So just be careful when you're looking for sources that you do not include any Wikipedia articles. Where can you find scholarly sources? Usually you can find these through the Broward College library databases. And there are many databases that will allow you to search for articles on your topic. There's also another very good source, which is Google, but you need to select the search for Scholar. Under Google Scholar, you can find many articles that are academically valid and would be considered scholarly. So I do recommend that you use Google Scholar as a way to find articles on your topic. Just be careful that with the internet, there's so much out there, but not everything is academic or scholarly. Check with me if you think that a particular website has information about your topic, but you're not sure if it's scholarly or academic. Please send me an email and I would let you know if that's one source that you can use. This is just an introduction to research. I've also added a video tutorial and a PowerPoint that will tell you a little bit more about research. Take a look at these sources in this week's folder in preparation for the research paper that you will work on in the following 2 weeks before the course ends. Thank you.